world, across the nation, and here in the River Region. This is the award-winning Student Newscast, coming to you live from Southern Illinois University. River Region Evening Edition begins now.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news. We've just learned moments ago that a fifth player is now leaving the SIU basketball team. Good evening. I'm Jasmine Wiley.
And I'm Danny Valle. Two of the departures were revealed just today. Evening Edition sportscaster Ahmad Hicks is here with the story. Ahmad.
We learned just moments ago that freshman guard Dion Lavender plans to transfer. Earlier in the day, we learned that all freshman forward Jordan Caroline was leaving after this semester. This now makes 5 Saluki players in the past 2 weeks who have announced their departures from SIU basketball team. We will hear from head coach Barry Hinton about the transfers later in the newscast. Live in the studio, I'm Ahmad Hicks.
The $1 million budget cut proposal to Southern Illinois University Carbondale has raised many questions on the future of not only the school but local businesses. If enrollment decreases, the cuts can not only affect the school but the Carbondale community businesses. Owner of Chicago Hot Dog Restaurants says business cannot get worse, and the worst would happen if customers were lost.
Yeah, because this state the big problem is the financing problem. So if this financing problem deepen and deepen, then in the future we have a more serious problem. So that's why already business-wise is very bad in here. So cannot be much more bad. Then we need to close business.
SIU Carbondale has seen low enrollment over the past years, but with millions of dollars possibly being deducted, this time could be much worse. 2 police officers are out of a job at a southeastern Illinois police department. One of them is the police chief of Brooklyn, Illinois. State police and St. Clair County Sheriff's deputies raided the Brooklyn Police Department last week. Investigators say evidence was being mishandled by the department. Weapons and computers were confiscated. Investigators say police officers were using guns and other items that should have remained in an evidence locker. President Obama cast his vote to select the mayor of his next hometown, the next mayor of his next hometown, Party officials say the president voted absentee for Mayor Rahm Emanuel in the Chicago mayoral runoff election. Emanuel is Obama's former chief of staff. The incumbent mayor faces off against Cook County Commissioner Jesus Chuy Garcia in the April 7th runoff election. The search continues for the remains of 150 people after a plane crashed into the French Alps.
And the Student Career Center is paving a positive path for graduating Salukis. We'll be right back.
Two people attempted to ram the National Security Agency gate in Maryland. The 2 men in the vehicle were shot by security officers, one killed and another injured. NSA police fired at the vehicle that was headed toward a police car. Federal law enforcement officials say the 2 men were dressed as women. This is the second security incident involving NSA this month, and the FBI is conducting an investigation with witnesses on the scene. In international news, West African country Guinea is closing its borders with Sierra Leone. This closure was made today as part of an effort to end the spread of Ebola. Guinean President Alpha Condé announced that these emergency measures would be put in place for a 45-day period in 5 districts, including the border with Sierra Leone. Previously, Guinean authorities had checked for symptoms of Ebola in people that are entering into the country. However, even though Ebola has been a problem for more than a year since the outbreak, Liberia has no Ebola patients, and Sierra Leone has steadily declined in Ebola patients. As authorities learn more about the mental treatment received by German pilot Andreas Lubitz, they're also continuing the effort to identify the 150 people who died on the plane he flew into a mountain in the French Alps last week. Workers are clearing a road to the remote crash site to help speed up the investigation. France has deployed about 500 police and emergency workers to secure the crash site, search for human remains, examine evidence, and help the traumatized relatives. Prosecutors today revealed that Lubitz had received treatment for suicidal tendencies several years ago. They say he had received psychotherapy for several years before becoming a pilot. When asked whether it had been aware of that, the airline Lufthansa says that all medical information is subject to confidentiality.
A 7.5 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Papua New Guinea triggered a tsunami warning early today. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the epicenter was 54 kilometers southeast of Kokopo. There were no immediate reports of damage or injuries. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said hazardous waves were possible, but later scaled back the warning.
When we come back, Rob will tell us what the rest of the week will look like.
And stocks are up today. Make sure you tune in to the nightly business report that airs at 5:30 right after River Region. We'll be right back.
Lindsay and the rest of the women's track team will compete in the Fred Will Invitational in Indiana this Friday and Saturday.
You know, it's kind of nice having two winning teams with the women's tennis team, Lindsay Murray track and field, you know, to kind of overshadow this whole, you know, the transfer thing with SIU's basketball team.
It's kind of how we hope SIU sports should be in general, everybody winning, but I mean, it does overshadow what's going on with the basketball team.
Thanks a lot, Amada.
No problem.
We'll be back after this break. Here are some of the stories making news in the days ahead. Statewide budget cuts could affect the local businesses in Carbondale. See what they're trying to do to compete with big businesses around town. The SIU women's softball team takes on SIUE at home on Wednesday at 4. We'll have coverage on that, and we'll explore the fallout of the 4th and 5th defections on the Saluki men's basketball team. Join us Monday through Thursday at 5 for River Region Evening Edition. And before we go, let's get a last look at the weather, shall we, Rob?
We shall. We're going to have clear skies on tomorrow and on Wednesday, but that rain will move in Thursday and Friday, and by the time it's all over, 1.5 inches of rain in Carbondale is not out of the question, but clear skies on Saturday.
All right, thanks a lot, Rob. Thank you for joining us tonight. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at River Region News. I'm Danny Valle.
And I'm Jasmine Wiley. For Rob, Tisa, Ahmad Hicks, and the more than 100 students who work on River Region Evening Edition. Good night.